everything. I knew not to do this during the draft. I knew not to do this during the draft. Live 00, 10 minute, you're live. Let's see. All right. Everything should be working. Let me send this thing out, Facebook. Share, and now let me share to Twitter. Now let me trade to Twitter. All right, cool. It's sent out. Still nobody can hear me. Eric, how you go? Oh my goodness, it's making me mad. Come on, skip this, skip this, skip this, skip this. It's making me watch a commercial. Still can't hear me. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Can you, well, I guess I need to be talking if you see if you can hear now. But I think, yeah, I had, good. Sorry guys, whoo. But yeah, I got up at 3 a.m. this morning, trying to get all this stuff together. It's new software. I'll be able to do some more fun things during the draft, but I'm glad I did this thing this morning so I can work out kinks like this because it gets annoying. And then the worst thing about it is you can't fix the audio or the video and stuff until you actually go live. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't work on the audio and the video stuff, before, you turn it on and go live. But now, once you go live, you have to tweak all that kind of stuff. So it's hard for one person. So, all right, let me get through the things that I was gonna talk about today. Anybody got any questions to start off? Anything about anything that's happening right now as far as what current events and the buzz that's going on? I don't want to hear any Johnny Manziel rumors. You got Jonathan Perez, you got a 24-minute delay. Refresh. If you got a delay, refresh. I hope it works for you. I'm trying to refresh right now and it's not working. But no Johnny Manziel rumors, but I do hear the biggest name out here right now is Coney Ealy. Dropping us in that pick. And the only thing that bothers me right now is we'll go through the defensive needs and stuff like that. I don't know if he is that much better than maybe a Scott Crichton in the second round or whatever. I don't know how much better he is than that, and we can get some kind of the best player available with that number 16 pick. So I'm still in my heart and in my mind, it just tells me when we get 16, we have to get the best player available. And if you've watched drafts before, you know that during the draft, there's going to be somebody for some reason that falls right into our hands. And if we can get that player, plus, since this is a deep draft, if we can get that player, whatever position it is, as long as he can be a crucial player for us moving to the future, the second round, we can get possibly a first round talent at first. That's what I'm saying, Sean. I think Ealy would be a reach at 16 too. But the thing about the defense has got me worried is Donald's going to be gone. I don't know if we need Knicks if he's a scheme fit. Clinton Dix. I'm to the point where I don't know why especially when you invested in Wilcox last year, I don't know why you would invest a first round pick right now in your secondary when your front seven is completely out of whack like this. Anthony Barr, Kevon McNeil, that is a decent one. Now I can see Anthony Barr because Anthony Barr, he has potential, he has pass rushing ability, and if there's one position we kind of really need on our defense, that's a pass rusher. Because we have Henry Melton, we have who I love Ben Bass. We have Ben Bass. Tyrone Crawford will probably play in the inside, not a defensive end. So we need someone that's going to get instant pressure from the outside, and Anthony Barr would be one of them. So I could definitely go with that, but I can't do a safety. Linebacker is probably our weak. If you tell the truth, linebacker is probably our weakest point next to defensive end. But we need some linebackers if we don't think Bruce Carter is gonna go back to how he played with Rob Ryan. Now somebody just said Timmy Jernigan. Did you just say Timmy Jernigan failed the drug test? People were getting mad at me because I'm a casual college football watcher. When it's bowl time, I watch as many bowl games as I can, and especially the late bowls I watch. So I watched Timmy Jernigan in that game, and I hear all the ESPN guys, Kuiper and McShay, and all of a sudden, if you just looked at him about what he was doing at the end of the game and couldn't breathe and couldn't get back in the game, he was killing at the beginning of the game. I don't care how much you're killing at the end of the game. We want players that suck it up and are able to go hard at the most crucial moments. And when I seen from him in the most crucial moment of their entire season, he was on the bench sucking wind. I ain't like that at all from any perspective. And there's nothing that anyone can say to me to make me, you know, believe otherwise. I saw what I saw with my own eyes, and I'm not that high on him. Hopefully, he's a monster if somebody gets him or whatever. But if I didn't hear him failing a test. He failed a test, man. Don't even worry about him. Aaron Donald's going to be gone. Aaron Donald, he's shooting up the draft. I expect him to be gone probably in the top 10. DeMarcus Lawrence, Boise State, another guy that we can get a little bit better. Gohan 187. I'm glad you brought that up. Keep on sending the stuff because I'm glad you brought that up, Gohan. Odell Beckham. Now, again, if you saw my last video or whatever, I was trying to explain how we can't just go and just dump all the resources over into the defense and expect the defense to be instantly better. The defense is going to be a work in progress. And I cited our 2012 draft when we had Mo Claiborne, Tyrone Crawford, Kyle Wilbur, and Matt Johnson as our first 4 picks, and we're still waiting on that. They might all 4 flourish because I like Matt Johnson if he can ever get on a field. Tyrone Crawford is the one I'm probably the least high on, but I'm high on Ben Bass instead of that, who I think came in at that same year. So those guys are finally turning the corner. Even I expect Mo Claiborne to turn the corner this year. To me, this is a make or break a year for Mo Claiborne. I think Mo Claiborne wasn't, when I saw his Wonderlic score, everybody got mad at me because it was a warning flag to me. You know what I'm saying? People were like, they don't have football questions and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. All the excuses in the world. It's about comprehension. And the fact that he couldn't comprehend worried me. And then kind of in the organization, they thought that he was kind of a slow learner or whatever. But at this point, he should have the defense down. Especially this new defense from last year. He should have everything down. He should be more comfortable and let his athletic skills take over. So I'm looking for Mo Claiborne. But my point is, these guys, and one couple were studs. Well, one was definitely a stud. They're taking a minute to flourish, and that's how it is in NFL. Now, there are some positions that we could bring somebody in and have some immediate help. Now, Travis Frederick, I'm still reeling from the draft strategy last year because I still think, and I really hope, but there was another center that went to the Titans. But I still think we could have got Travis Frederick a little later. But you see how you plugged one guy in there and it helped the offensive line. We might can plug another guy in there, from the first round, and it helped the offensive line. And the offensive line, in turn, can help our defense by us holding on to the ball in the offense. You understand what I'm saying? To help the defense, you don't have to just go ahead and throw players on the defense. You can actually have a game plan toward the offense to hold the ball, to keep the defense from getting the score ran up on them. And that's how our 90s offense did it. I mean, they ran the ball down your throat. The defense sat down, and at the end of the year, the defense looked like they had the most incredible stats in the NFL. And, it was because of the offense. So there's people on the offense that we can get early in that draft. And Odell Beckham, I'm going to go back to what you said about Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham is one of them. He's one of those guys that you can put with Dez, and those are 2 catch and run monsters. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, if we can retain Dwayne Harris, we'd have 3 catch and run monsters. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that I kind of like, because you'll get a kind of like a special player in that first round that can do some things. Brandon Cooks, Dree Archer, man, the speed. I know we were thinking about Chris Johnson, but we didn't want to pay Chris Johnson money. But you put a Dree Archer on the offense and let him, work with, if Dunbar's hurt, Archer's there. If Archer's hurt, Dunbar's there. Got both of those guys. It could be highly dangerous. Let me catch up with y'all. I went off on a tangent when I saw Odell Beckham. $2 Bob said he would go Barr in the first and Stock Crichton in the second. That's a solid draft to me, $2 Bob. I can't say a thing about that. What do we do if Eric Ebron is the best player available at 16? Elias, if we pick another tight end, I will guaranteed lose my mind, especially if we get a tight end in the first round. You can bet 100% I'm going to lose my mind. Schatzer, Ohio State, ran a 4.3 for his pro day at 40. That is a very good pick because, like I said before, we don't have much at linebacker, ladies and gentlemen, if Bruce Carter does not turn his game around and become the stud that we think he can become. And I like Devontae Holloman, too. That's South Carolina. It's just a South Carolina thing. Elias said he really, really likes C.J. Mosley at linebacker. Yeah, me too. It's just those injury things going on. Not saying you're wrong, but Jernigan played, Gabriel said that correctly. Not saying you're wrong, but Jernigan played every play in that game. He was really winded. I get what you're saying. I just don't know. We had to experience Ware. And, you know, Ware's gone now, and we can be a little bit honest about Ware, how much ever we loved him. In those crunch times, we didn't have him. And I don't want a player that does not know how to gauge himself and not, you know, burn himself out to where he's going to have something there at the end of the game to go and make a closing sack. For instance, Jared Allen is one of those type players. Jared Allen's motor, for some reason, when you need a sack from Jared Allen at the end of the game when everybody else is gassed, Jared Allen goes beast on you. And that's how he's lived in the NFL. That's how he's become who he's become. So there's certain players that raise their level of the game toward the end of the game. And I just didn't see that from Jernigan. Maybe he's good and all that kind of stuff. Maybe he can stop. And maybe if we can supplement him with some guys that would close at the end of the game, it would be all right. But I just didn't like what I see from Jernigan. What I saw from Jernigan. We don't need a... who said we don't need a two-down defensive tackle? Daniel. John, are you turned off by the rumors of Jernigan failing a drug test during the combine? I have a little problem with, you know, I have zero problem with the drug marijuana, and I assume it's marijuana. But when you're at that point and in the combine, it's more of a judgment decision. You know what I'm saying? If you smoke right there when you're about to go in the NFL, or you know, there's just times you know not to toke, and that's a time you know not to do it. And if you do that, then to me it seems like it's a judgment issue with you. And if you're gonna make a bad judgment decision there, the next judgment decision you might do something bad on also. So that's why it bothers me. So yeah, I have nothing against the drug or the plant. I have nothing against the plant, but the judgment I have problems with. Just like Jameis Winston. That's why I'm probably a little more eager to get a quarterback in this draft, because my favorite quarterback to get was Jameis Winston. But him just stealing crab legs got me turned completely off. I mean, that's some horrible judgment. I mean, it's a minor thing. It was just, he wasn't really rest, blah, 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 whatever. It was horrible judgment. So I don't want him as my quarterback. And that's just a small incident that's gonna stick. Of course, everybody done stupid stuff in college or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But when you're Jameis, M-F-I-N-G, Winston, you don't walk in a store and steal a little bag of crab legs. You just don't do it. So that's how I am about him failing that test. Jared's going to get another center in first round for him. Please don't. What's up, John G? What's up, Shango? How do you feel about trading back? I saw an interesting article that moved the first round pick 6 of the last 7. John G, I do like the fact of trading back simply because this draft is so big. Like I said, the difference between Coney Ealy and Scott Crichton is not, in my opinion, not that big. So if you can get 2 players like Scott Crichton a little bit later in the second round, then it's great for us because we need more bodies than anything, and then that would allow us to maybe slip a quarterback in, so we can slip behind Romo and still get the things that we need over there on the defensive side of the football. I'm extreme, but everybody else is for moving back too because it's such a deep draft. The only people that's going up, I think, like maybe the Niners, because the Niners have to go up because they don't have enough roster spots for their draft picks. Sucks to be them, huh? DeMarcus Lawrence and Dominique Easley in a second. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Dominique Easley. A lot of people like him. How would you feel about someone like Beckham? $2 Bob, yeah, that's what I think you just caught the end of me talking about Beckham. I think the catch and run ability of this Cowboy team would be absolutely amazing. I want to retain Dwayne Harris because he's one of my favorite Cowboys by far. But with that type wide receiver set, any quarterback that comes after Tony Romo will be, have a good chance to have success because you not only have wide receivers that can run a route, they're not the greatest. I mean, Dad's not the greatest route runner, but the hands are fantastic, and him making breaks on the ball is fantastic, and him getting the ball and making plays after he catches the ball is absolutely fantastic. So the idea of having Beckham and Dez, man, I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on it at all. How do you feel about trading back for Ely if Donald and Barr are gone? Kevon McNeil, I'm almost sure Barr is going to be gone. I mean, Donald's going to be gone. I don't know about Barr. If we get Barr in the first round, I think that's not. I think that's as solid as maybe one of the offensive tackles. If we can get one of those guys, one of the first round graded offensive tackles. Because that's just a solid pick. It's a need, and it's actually a good player that we'll get right there. Yeah, Todd Kaufman. Todd Kaufman said, I don't know what people see in Ely. I'm not sold on him one bit. I actually looked at some more video because I watched Brian Broaddus talk about Ely on DallasCowboys.com. So I said, let me look at Ely again, and I actually caught a couple of Z's during his highlight. So it's not that he's that bad. He's just not a splash player. So he doesn't impress me on that level. But maybe if we can get him as a good value pick a little bit later, not at 16, then I'm okay with it. Taylor Lewin, that was one of the guys I was referring to. Gabriel Carrasco. Taylor Lewan, he is nasty offensive tackle. He's a similar version of Eric Williams, just flat out nasty. Could be the nice opposite of Tyron Smith. Guys, if we get another tackle on the other side, Doug Free, there's different. Doug Free, I don't believe Doug Free is the Doug Free that was last year. I believe it was because, I've said it over and over, I believe it was because of our blocking scheme and us getting the ball out of Romo's hands extremely fast last year. That was the plan. That was the offensive plan last year. Quick steps back, get the ball out so the pressure won't get to Romo. And Doug Free was a beneficiary of that. But Doug Free is still Doug Free. And he's a little bit older. And he makes a lot of money. So if we can move him either in until we can get rid of him on this contract and then get another top tackle, and we have 2 tackles to move in the future with, again, another good thing. People ripped Quincy Carter like it was nothing. I mean, they called Quincy Carter and Chad Hutchinson and all those quarterbacks, the worst time. It was a dark period. And I totally agree. I couldn't stand all those quarterbacks. Especially, I think Chad Hutchinson was the one I hated more than anybody in the world. But those guys had nothing else. They didn't have an offensive line. They had no defense. They rarely had any receivers. I think, was it Galloway was the only one? They didn't have anything to work with. So if we bring another quarterback through after Romo in this draft or whatever, we're setting the stage for him to have a little bit of success if we get a decent offensive line so he can stand back in the pocket and make his progressions and find open receivers and things like that. So I'm really into offensive line. I'm really into an explosive wide receiver, someone else that if Dez, and you got to think about another thing with the wide receiver, Dez and Terrence Williams. Terrence Williams, we think is going to be very good, but he might not be. He's a body catcher still, and there's some things that he needs to work on in his game. But next year, if something happens to him and he has a sophomore slump and does not, do very well, or Dez is, Dez has his back thing that he starts tightening up, we need another starting wide receiver that we can put in there. Now, right now, we can do Dwayne Harris. I think he can probably play outside, but he's more of a slot. And Cole Beasley is definitely a slot. Cole Beasley does not belong in the outside. Way too short for that. So we do need another pretty good wide receiver that could start, that could push Terrence Williams to start. So I'm just throwing those offensive players out there, man. Let's see. If we target, Elias said, if we target a wide receiver 16, let it be Brandon Cooks from Oregon State. I would love Cooks. Cooks would be a dangerous thing. And it would feel good because not only would if we get Cooks, it would be a twofold thing. One, we'd get a very explosive football player, extremely, and then you could, even though it would break my heart, you could let Dwayne Harris go because you'll have a returner also. We'll get an explosive football player on one end. And number two, we'll keep that guy from going to Philadelphia and being the stand-in for Deshaun Jackson. So it would be a twofold thing with that, Brandon Cooks. So I'm really into that one also. Jonathan Gonzalez, Trey Turner, LSU guard is someone I like for us. He's a lot like Leary without the knee problem. Okay, I'll keep my eye on that. Do we have two slot wide? We have Daniel Ken Guider said we have two slot wide receivers. We need somebody who can play both outside and slot. Look at Kelvin Benjamin from Florida State. I'm iffy about Benjamin. His upside, I'm like, yeah. His low side, I'm not too keen on, but he's a big guy, very big guy. Let me refresh here. I know I didn't catch up with the comments. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Here we go. There the comments come. We could trade back with the 49ers so they can get Beckham and us traded back. That I like that, Jonathan Perez, because the 49ers are looking for a wide receiver. That's smart. That's smart. I'd be talking to the them right now. Mike Evans in the 5th round, wide receiver from Texas. Mike Davis. Yeah, I was like, Mike Evans, not 5th round. What about the rumors surrounding the Eagles trading with the Cowboys for a guy like Beckham? Would you do it? I wouldn't want to have him. I don't want to help the Eagles out. I mean, you know what? I lost my mind last year when we traded down and helped San Francisco out. I mean, these teams we are actually chasing, and whether we like it or not, we are now chasing the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year we were chasing the San Francisco 49ers, and we give a team that we're chasing another vital weapon and not give it to ourselves. Like, we really could. I mean, all respect to Wilcox, he played hard, but we could have really used Eric Reed last year if we took him with that pick rather than trading down and then turn around and getting Frederick in the second. You know, I don't like helping people that are currently better than us. Gabriel Carrasco said, I have it. Why is it? Let's go to the newest comment. All right. Gabe said he has a high rate on Gabe Jackson. Gabriel, that's because you guys have the same name. That's why you like him. $2 Bob. Another one would be Cody Latimer, wide receiver IU. The kids really have he's very underrated. Yeah. Devontae Adams. There's a lot of wide receivers in this draft. That's what I'm saying. We can get a real talented wide receiver in this draft and put him over there on the other side of Dez and he'll actually help our defense out a considerable amount. Let's see. DeAnthony Thomas. Perez, where do you think DeAnthony Thomas is gonna go? I just don't. He's a little guy, and I do think I like Dunbar as one of my. The thing is, I want to give Dunbar his shot because watching him in training camp, DC Fanatic could tell you when I first saw Dunbar out there at training camp, I was like, wow, this dude is fast. He's good. I mean, he looked so much better than Felix, you know, and quicker than Felix when Felix was out there, but Felix was fat then. But still, he looked just as good, if not better. So I want to give him his shot. The thing about it is, he's getting hurt a lot. He still has the fumbling issue. So there's things with Dunbar that's not quite complete to whether he can be a full-time at least a part-time contributor also. But if we can get another fast guy like DeAnthony Thomas later in the draft, if he drops and he's there, then we'll have a good complement there. But otherwise, I think you can find another fast and shifty guy, maybe as a restricted free agent, kind of like the same way we found Dunbar, and put him back there with him. I'm just not ready to invest in running back until it's time to invest in running back. If you notice with the offensive players, I've been saying receiver, I've said offensive line, I've even said quarterback, but I'm not going to say tight end, and I'm not going to say running back, simply because next year, even if we don't sign DeMarco Murray next year, if we let him walk, which I fully expect us probably to do, then in next year's draft, we do what? We get a running back in the second round. We'll probably get the second best running back in the draft in the second round. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about running back right now at all. And $2 Bob says running back is weak in this year's draft anyway. It is, and it's such, if you can get a good guy to run the rock in your system, then you're fine. You're gonna be very fine. Let me refresh. Wow, it just popped up a lot of them. Just Elias, you said something about one guy that I was looking at. Oh, Perez, you said something too. Hold on. DeAnthony, Logan Thomas. I think he said something about Logan Thomas. He is just. I saw him in a quarterback challenge thing, and he did extremely well in that event. And it just made me think maybe he's not getting the proper teachings. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, we could form him into a good quarterback, possibly because the athletic ability there is insane. Now, on the other side of the coin, Jonathan Perez said, I love Clemson, and he's asking about Taj Boyd, and I don't like that. I don't like Taj Boyd. I don't want Taj Boyd. I see. If you guys remember watching Quincy Carter play, I see Taj Boyd's game and Quincy Carter's game kind of similar. It's like he's almost mobile, but not really, and he can throw kind of, but not really. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm not that big of a sorry, Taj. I'm not really sorry. I'm not sorry. Taj Boyd and Clemson gave me the worst heartbreak in the last couple of years that I've ever seen, especially when we lost to Geno Smith, and good gracious. Tevin Smith, Sean says Tevin Smith would be a good addition to a 4th, 3rd linebacker. True. There you go. Gohan said, "What about Logan Thomas? Logan Thomas. We need someone." Right now, Jeff Calloway, I understand what you're saying when you say we need someone to put fear in Romo, but it's too late for that. We should have had someone putting fear in Romo 4 years ago. And I said it constantly. Oh, why don't we have anybody backing up Romo that can take his job, blah, 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 to push him? You know, to me, that's just good coaching. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do about you don't like the player or whatever. It's just good coaching to have somebody sniffing, somebody's job every week. You know, it makes you go a little bit harder. But so I understand that concept. But now it's time to look for that next guy, because you don't know when Romo is going to. I mean, the suddenness. I'd be different if at the end of the year when we were playing the Eagles, he went down suddenly. You know, after the game, he finished the game with Washington, and then immediately after the game, Romo can't play. And there was no question around the organization. They were trying to BS you like, well, it's still day to day. But the buzzword and everybody within the organization knew Romo couldn't play, and it happened like that. And when somebody when they don't have any question about whether a person can play or not, then the injury was serious. So now that gets me thinking that maybe one wrong hit or one time, one thing that happens to Romo out there, and then it's done. And then behind him, you got Kyle Orton, who doesn't want to play football anymore. He doesn't want to play. So, I mean, how can you really put your faith and all your hopes behind someone who's like, I want to retire, but I'm going to play because I have to pay you $3 million. So I'll get up and come to work, but I ain't gonna perform well. So we got that, and then after him we got Caleb Haney and Brandon Weeden. And my gosh, I hope you're not expecting to go anywhere with those two, and in the future with those two. I mean, Weeden might be okay, but he's old already, so you can't invest too much into him. So I mean, the quarterback situation is really, 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 really on shaky ground right now. You know what I'm saying? So let's get somebody in here. Let's go to new comments. Todd Kaufman said he likes Bryce Petty. We're looking to him. Jameis famous stealing food. I can't. I mean, I do not. Jonathan Perez. I do not want Jameis Winston. I do not even like Jameis Winston at this point at all. Just because it's people make mistakes. People do things that's wrong and all that kind of. But stupidity really rubs me the wrong way, and that was really stupid. Let's see. Brandon Haggerty. Okay. By the way, everyone, Brandon Haggerty. He's gonna be my my version of Adam Schefter. Well, he's gonna be actually a 6'4" version of Adam Schefter, which is kind of. But he's gonna throw so many facts and so many tweets at us during the draft that we're going to have at hashtag Shango Live. So all my tweets will go to that hashtag. All of Brandon's tweets that have anything to do with the Cowboys draft will come to that hashtag, and we will have fun all day long. Actually, I'm going to start that hashtag immediately with all kind of draft buzz. So from here until the draft, we're going to start up hashtag Shango Live, and we're gonna just flood it with as much draft information as possible. Now we can beg Brandon Haggerty not to give us the pick before the commissioner. I'm old school. I like to sit back, eat my popcorn with the 14th pick. the such and so pick. I like doing that. I don't like Twitter telling me who's been picked 14 minutes before the pick. It's just annoying. It is annoying. All right, $2 Bob. See ya. Have a good time at work. I'm getting ready to. I gotta take the baby girl to the doctor. Me and the wifey. She's getting up in a few. Brandon Whedon. Would you draft Dominique Easley? Yeah. If he falls again, go ahead. There's a lot of players in here in the draft I like. It's just this should be a value draft because it's so deep and we have so many needs and we can use every single position outside of cornerback and running back and tight end and center. Those four. We don't need cornerback, tight end, running back, and center in the first 4 or 5 rounds. So whatever player is the best player available in the first few rounds, if they drop, then we can go for it. Stephen Jones joins the G-Bag Nation show at 11 p.m. noon Central Time on 105.3 The Fan radio station. Thank you, Jonathan. All the Cowboys information you can get is good for us Cowboy fans, us sicko Cowboy fans. We were lucky enough to land week in the back of Romo. Yay, I know, right? Gabriel said Max Bullock is better than Allen. What do I think of the pick of Dez and Johnny Football? Okay, I guess I was supposed to stop at 9, but I'm gonna go a little bit longer because I'm gonna talk Johnny Football, and I'm waiting to the end to talk Johnny Football. You know what I like? I've already said about Jameis Winston I don't like. Johnny Football, he could keep the ship going the way it's going now in Dallas. The only thing that could be different is he could be a different finisher in games. You know what I'm saying? I don't think with the way our offense is run, even with Jason Garrett here, with the way our offense is run, and the type of offense we run, I think he would have success here. And the only difference is, would he be able to, be magical at the end of games and win big games and things of that sort. And he could do that. He could be that. I mean, the guy is, you can't say the guy isn't special. Now, if the guy can't make it because of physical problems, him being too small and somebody break him in half or whatever, of course that may happen. But it's something. This is my last thing, and I'm gonna call it wraps because it's gonna bring up a bad memory, and I might start crying in front of everybody or whatnot. But my top 3 worst Cowboy memories. I'm getting choked up here a little bit. It was a draft, and it was a draft when there was a wide receiver that everybody in Cowboy land wanted. He was a monster. And we were going to put him with Michael Irvin. And I was watching the draft, and it was a horrible day at home, but everything was going wrong for me that day. And the draft was just going. It was not time to pick. I was like, we're going to get Randy Moss. We're going to get Randy Moss. I can't believe he fell to us. It's ordained. It's supposed to happen. We're going to get Randy Moss. And we needed defense, and we got Greg Ellis. Greg Ellis was a solid player for us. I can't complain about Greg Ellis was the worst. We blew the pick. He was solid. But Randy Moss would have changed things in Dallas. He would have changed things in Dallas. So it's when you wear the star and there's a player out there that has the potential to be a little bit special, You don't want to miss on that. You don't want to miss on that. Okay, like I said, live draft show here. Follow at John Shango. Follow at BHaggerty13. And the hashtag Shango Live will have all our tweets starting today about this draft information. And we're going to have a very, 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 very good time. A very good time. All right, guys. Thanks. And I didn't have too much trouble, but on Thursday, hopefully everything's gonna run nice, clean, and easy. Clean and easy. All right, guys. Holla at you. Peace.